Rabbit Hole Roundup, episode 56. Even if it's all fake, your experience is real. In today's edition of the Rabbit Hole Roundup, the main focus is going to be how, in spite of all this fakery that many of us are aware of now,
nothing's real.
And as these terms matrix or simulation become more popular, and of course, there is a lot of truth behind this, but our experience is still real. What we feel and who we are can still be within our power. And we can't be allowing all these terms to demoralize us and make us think that all of us are powerless in this whole simulation. Especially because, as Elle Stone said when she came on the podcast a few months back, Matrix is actually within us. I'm also going to be talking about Marcellus Wiley along with Jason Whitlock, talking about how there's all these people and all these content creators out there these days who are doing things just for clicks and for algorithms as opposed to actually speaking on their genuine, authentic viewpoints. I also have a super powerful Kobe Bryant clip talking about how the support from your parents and allowing you to fail is actually so essential in life. I have a powerful Ice-T clip.
Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
The former rapper talking about how life is actually like the gym. And I have an awesome Jelly Roll clip, as you guys know, one of my favorite singers out there, talking about how life is actually like a bendy river with all its twists and turns. And if I have time at the end, I'm also going to be giving all my NFL playoff predictions, which, although the first games will have happened by the time this video comes out, hopefully all my picks are still accurate by the time. So with all that said, let's dive deeper now. Rabbit hole time, let's go.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys didn't know that, must mean not subscribe to the channel so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to buy my book, Fight Through by Jared Weiss. All the links purchased are on my website, which is jaredryanweiss.com. That's JAREDRYANWEIS.com. Buy the book, support me. Any support, as always, is very much appreciated. So, let's get right into it. Even if most of the food is fake, even with all this fake news that's out there, even with all these world events that are likely scripted, etc., etc.,
fake,
we still have to find ways to stay positive, keep our hope, help others, have fun, and continue to live our best lives because our lives are real and our experience here is real. With a lot of this whole conspiracy stuff that's currently being spread on social media, I actually feel like the reason why so much of it has been allowed to spread unmitigated and unshadowbanned, in spite of all the rampant censorship, is because a lot of it actually demoralizes us. A lot of the whole conspiracy stuff that's out there right now is convincing you that success is bad, and if you're actually doing well and living your best life, you must be control opposition. I heard someone in a clip the other day who was actually saying that the people who are the closest to God are the most miserable. Now, if that's not a psyop, I don't know what is. If you can convince people they're on the right path when they're the most miserable and when they're not successful,
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Imagine what else you can convince them to do. As opposed to being someone who could have everything thrown at them and come out on top and show other people how to do the same. And if you could do all that with a smile on your face, isn't that actually the ultimate rebellion? It's I was watching the movie Free Guy the other day, one of my favorite movies that came out in 2021, I'm pretty sure. So yes, in the movie, main characters from the video game are living in this fake simulated world.
None of this matters! None of it! It's fake! We don't matter! That building, that's fake! This street, it's fake!
But what Buddy ends up reminding Guy is that, so what if this whole experience is fake? Who actually decides what's real and what isn't? Because what they were experiencing in that moment was of course real, the emotions that were being felt were real.
But if you're not real, doesn't that mean that nothing you do matters?
Brother, I am sitting here with my best friend trying to help him get through a tough time. This moment is real. I mean, what's more real than a person trying to help someone they love?
So I think this is such an important point because, while it sounds great to be able to scream at everyone, it's all fake, none of this is real, everything is scripted, this current world we're living in can't be fixed, we're in the Matrix, it's all a lie, and I get it, I've done some of that myself in the past, but the whole thing is, you don't want to get stuck down there. So the next step is to be yes, all those things might be true. So much of the food might be fake, the weather might be fake, all these people are NPCs who can't think for themselves, politicians are all crazy, but I still have within my grasp to make awesome connections. I still have to make money in this world because doing that is essential based on the way our current society is set up. And I can still be intentional when it comes to the music I listen to. I can still be intentional when it comes to the food I'm putting into my body, when it comes to the people I'm surrounding myself with. And I have the power within me to make my human experience amazing, and I can try my best to bring heaven on earth. because as far as I see it, anything else is actually letting them win. I can still enjoy sports, I can still watch movies, even if the agendas behind them have one purpose behind it, and even if it's all supposed to be fake or scripted or whatever, I'm going to use this for my own reasons, and I'm going to transform this, and I'm going to take back this power and not let them demoralize me. You still have to be able to interact with people, even the normies, and if you can't, this actually isn't a good thing. And of course, I'm not telling you guys to interact with people who don't value you or who aren't capable of thinking for themselves at all. I mean, as one of my main principles has always been to surround yourself with the best, but like, even if someone disagrees with you on some small things, or even if people don't see the whole truth, quote unquote, there's almost always something that all of us have in common with each other. And to deny this and separate ourselves or see ourselves as above these other people who aren't on our level is actually only going to hurt us in the end. So even if everything is fake, even if it is all agenda driven, and even if it is all being done for one purpose, our experience here is real, and I believe like all of us are actually meant to have this experience right now, and we're supposed to make the best of it, and we're supposed to do our best to bring heaven on earth. Now the next topic I'm going to get into is Marcellus, Wiley, and Jason Whitlock, who have their own show on FS1, Speak For Yourself, did a podcast this past week talking about the whole Joy Taylor and the whole FS1 scandal.
That big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your distance.
But one super powerful topic that I heard them talking about was when Marcellus was saying how all these people and all these content creators and all these media personalities out there these days are often more worried about how something will land and how the algorithms will reward it versus speaking their authentic truth or how they authentically feel.
I feel you.
And an example of this that Marcellus brought up was how when he was doing the show with Emmanuel Acho, who's part of the whole scandal, there was actually this one segment that was done where Marcellus gave his authentic viewpoint and then Emmanuel Acho gave his viewpoint, but like afterwards, Emmanuel Acho, who was so focused on the views and who was so focused on being perceived as successful in the eyes of society and just going along to get along and saying whatever he had to do in order to be famous, he then asked Marcellus what his genuine thoughts are, and like Marcellus was so confused because he was actually giving his genuine thoughts, but like all Emmanuel Acho was concerned with was how many clicks can I get, how is the algorithm going to reward this post? And this is why I see all these creators out there who say one thing one week, and then as soon as the next hot topic comes along, they're totally fine with jumping on board with that, even if they don't genuinely believe that.
What is wrong with all you people?
And this is where the whole fame turns into a drug issue becomes so prevalent. As I'm always saying, I would much rather get to the top the slow way but the right way, saying what I truly believe, standing up for what I believe in, treating people right, being a good person, and even if it takes me 5 times as long as the person who's only going to say whatever the algorithm is going to reward, I believe that like in the end, that way is actually the much more rewarding way. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Next up, I have a super powerful Kobe Bryant quote and clip talking about the power of a parent's love and support and how having such a good positive support system can lead to our ultimate success, which is why it's so important to be surrounding ourselves with the right people and to have people around us who believe in us.
Scored 1 point the entire summer. Really? Not one. How old were you? 11, 10, 11?
You're playing against other 10, 11-year-olds, or you didn't score once?
Not one.
Were you in the game?
I was in the game.
How'd you not score?
Because I was terrible.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember crying about it and being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm going to love you no matter what.
Wow.
Now that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there, I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But to hell with that, I'm scoring 60. Let's go. Right. From there, I just went to work. And I just stayed with him. I kept practicing. I don't score.
So powerful and so much wisdom in that quote, because when you have people around you who you know are going to love you, whether you're balling out or whether you're giving it your all but like still not succeeding, that's going to give you the utmost confidence in yourself, and that's going to allow you the green light to shine. And that's why, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, we need to be surrounding ourselves with people who are actually going to give us this unconditional love, because anything less than that is going to drain us of our confidence, and then we're always going to have this belief in the back of our head like, oh, if I miss this shot, or if I mess up this business deal, this person's not going to love me, and then what happens? The chance of failure actually grows as a result of that. So get rid of all your fair weather friends, keep only the best people around you, and watch how your confidence soars. Because, as I mentioned during one of my recent videos on the Jared and James channel, when I was in high school playing on all these various teams, some teams I was on I was scoring 20 a game, while others I was scoring 2 to 4 a game. But like, what actually changed? Was it my skill set that changed? Or was it actually playing for coaches who believed in me and who gave me the green light? as opposed to the ones who I knew that like as soon as I missed a shot, I was going to get taken out and I was going to get screamed at. Next up, we have a super powerful Ice-T clip talking about how life is actually like a gym. And this analogy was so spot on, very well said here.
Life is like a gym. If you look over to the right, there will always be somebody in better shape than you. But if you look to your left, there's someone who would die to be in your position. If everybody you knew were in a room and we all threw our problems in the air, I bet you reach for yours on the way down. Because you know where you stand and you don't want to be somebody else. You might want Bill Gates' money, but you don't want to be him.
Right.
You want to be you. So the thing of it is you just want to outdo yourself every day.
So as I'm always saying, each of us has to run our own race, and each of us has to be focused on and appreciative over our own journey, and each of us has to overcome our own circumstances and our own challenges. But wishing for someone else's physique or wishing for someone else's money is actually undermining all of our own capabilities and undermining where our potential is. Because even if someone to the left or to the right of us might be further along than we are right now, who's to say like that we're not going to be there in a year from now or 2 years from now? Great things take time, but by over-focusing on or over-comparing ourselves to our friends or to our peers is undervaluing ourselves. So love yourself, give yourself that understanding, and give yourself that grace, and realize that sometimes you may have to work harder to get to that spot, but you may actually surpass those people if you give enough time, enough patience, and enough effort. But don't wish for someone else's life, make yours as amazing as it can be, and be appreciative over where you're at. Next up, as many of you guys know by now, I'm a huge fan and a huge supporter of Jelly Roll and his old journey and his old comeback story. And so in this clip, he talks about how life is actually like this meandering stream with all these twists and turns, and it's very powerful. I don't really give too much away now, but like, let's watch together.
I love all this property, but I got 3 or 4 spots that are like my little spots. You know what I mean? It's crazy, dude. But this right here, I think this represents my life in such a way. Rocky, still having to find my way around, you know, but just trying to naturally go where it takes me now. Looking at a body of water like this, is my mentor Miles tells me, it's real simple. Is I spent a lot of my life trying to go this way against it. Everything opened up for me the moment I started going with it. When I started accepting there was going to be rocks along the way, when I started understanding that sometimes you got to turn right, sometimes you got to go left, but you just got to relax and let it go, you know, and sometimes you got to find your way. You look at little spots on this creek and you'll see where water's having to find its way.
Acceptance is actually different from settling. So like, even if you're not where you want to be right now in life, accepting where your current situation is and being like, alright, this is where I'm at, I'm going to make this work, I'm not going to fight up against it, but like, I'm actually going to go with it.
I feel perfectly at peace with the world.
Especially because, as one of my favorite quotes goes, what you resist will persist. This is so important to achieving success in life, because the more you fight up against your situation, the more you're actually creating more of this friction, more of this resistance that's actually going to hold you back from taking the next step and from taking the next leap. So understand where you're at, realize like that most likely there are going to be more twists and turns. There's going to be rocks along the way. Success isn't going to be this linear path. You may have to take 1 step back, take 2 steps forward at different points on your journey, but ride the current, feel the flow, and you're going to get way further that way.
Feel the flow, happy.
And my final clip for this video, I have a super powerful Big Sean clip that's going to be awesome for taking us into this new year. Let's watch together.
Strategy without execution is aimless. And execution without strategy is useless. You know, I do believe in being like spontaneous and doing things in a moment, but when you strategize whatever intention you got going, that strategy is the blueprint to really building a lifelong project. And that's the mindset I think we all are on. It's like we want to execute. You want to execute. We want to see the change, but you gotta realize that that's just the results you're looking at. People don't see all of the hard work, they just see all the results. And the hard work is where the strategy lives and grows.
Awesome stuff. Well said by my guy Big Sean. Awesome rapper. So as said in that clip, actions and execution are where it's at. And you have to start by setting your intentions, setting your goals, understanding where your own internal GPS is going to get you. And then from there, you just gotta put that work in over and over again, day after day, until you get there. But first, you have to set that blueprint, set that plan, strategize, and then make things happen. Now, finally in this video, I want to share my NFL playoff predictions, which, even though the first games are gonna have happened by the time this video comes out, so like, hopefully my predictions don't look horrible. I'm saying this on Friday. So, I am in fact a Green Bay Packers fan, but I'm not going to allow that bias to stop me from making my true authentic picks here. So like, I think the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, are the best team in this playoffs, and I predict the Bills are going to beat the Lions in the Super Bowl, I think. I feel like this is finally Josh Allen's year, And as long as the refs don't give the Chiefs another Super Bowl, because, look, don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes is incredible, but, like, as far as I see it, this current team of the Chiefs is not the best one that, like, they put out into the field. This year, I would say at least 5 or 6 of those games that came down to the final 2 minutes were handed to them by the refs. So, of course, you can never count out the Chiefs, but I think this year is Josh Allen's year. And I also think the Detroit Lions have been incredible this year as well, but, like, what the Bills have done, whether it was beating the Chiefs, whether it was beating the Lions, beating some of these juggernauts, Josh Allen reducing his turnovers this year and playing like an MVP, along with that defense of Von Miller and all these other guys who've been there for a while now, something tells me like this is going to be the Bills' year. Now, of course, what the Vikings have done has been impressive, but I do see their lack of playoff experience holding them back a little bit. The Buccaneers could be an interesting team if Baker Mayfield gets hot. I'm hoping that, like, my Packers pull through. Philadelphia Eagles, of course, are a super tough team. The Ravens, if playoff Lamar Jackson finally shines through, with an incredible running back in Derrick Henry too. So I do expect it to be a super exciting playoffs, but, like, I do think the Buffalo Bills are going to win. And finally, my MVP predictions from this video are going to be, I do think it's a toss-up between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But if any of you saw former quarterback Dan Orlovsky's video the other day breaking this whole thing down,
the Buffalo Bills this year with Josh Allen as their starting quarterback averaged 3 points per drive. That's top 5 historically in the history of the NFL. You don't do that as an offense without a 1,000-yard receiver or 1,000 back. The Bills have 2 Pro Bowls. The Ravens have 9. The value of the quarterback to go and win the 2 seed when you obviously have a lesser roster has to be part of that equation. Number 3, he beat both 1 seeds in each conference. Lamar's had an amazing season. He's got more turnovers than Josh Allen. So that right there, that's misleading. And that's why numbers can make them say whatever you want them to say. Josh is the first quarterback in the history of the league to have over 40 touchdowns accounted for, yet under 8 turnovers and less than 20 sacks.
I think it's actually pretty clear that, like, Josh Allen has meant more to his team than Lamar Jackson. Now look, you're not wrong for giving it to either of them. And to be honest, if Joe Burrow led his team into the playoffs, I actually think Joe Burrow should have been the MVP. Because what he did as a quarterback this year was actually unreal. His numbers were insane. He had like 8 straight games to finish the year with 250 plus yards and 3 plus touchdowns. So I don't think it's even a question right now who the best quarterback in the NFL is. But, like, of course, his team didn't make the playoffs. So I do think that narrows it down to Allen and Jackson. And look, Lamar Jackson had an incredible year, 40 plus touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a bunch of rushing yards, and a bunch of rushing touchdowns. But the actual load that Josh Allen had to carry this year, I think sets him slightly above Lamar, especially because Lamar also had the second best running back in the NFL this year in Derrick Henry, who ran for 1,900 plus yards. And I can't stand how all these sports pundits and the sports media is always going to make it all about race.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Because sports are supposed to be all about merit. And as soon as you have all these people who turn into race baiting and all this other nonsense, you're taking away from what these incredible athletes have done, and you're not actually helping anyone. You're just creating a society of victims that way. So we have to stop with every MVP conversation turning into a whole white versus black thing. Let the best of the best win. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, buy the book. I will catch you guys next time. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding. Let me know your predictions for the NFL playoffs. I will catch you guys next time. Peace.